Hi guys, I teach students how to prepare for the IELTS speaking test. I've made lots of videos to help students, so I'm putting them in a series here on YouTube so you can see examples of how to answer the questions on the IELTS speaking test. Please remember that the topics can change, but the categories do not. The general categories are about travel, family, where you're from, where you have been, where you'd like to go, and so on. So if you remember those general categories and study these videos, you'll have examples of the most important thing on the IELTS speaking test, which is to tell a story. Tell a story about yourself that shows your enthusiasm for the subject, or a memory that's special for you, or your opinion. Those kind of stories are very interesting for the IELTS examiner. The IELTS examiners can do hundreds of different IELTS interviews during a year. They have to listen to many people tell stories poorly because they don't put any life in the story from their own life, or haven't thought about these general categories of subjects. So please let me help you by subscribing to these videos, and you can learn how to be successful on the IELTS speaking test. I've also written a book for my students. You can see the link below, and the book can help you. It has over 150 different examples. The next part of this video will be an example of an IELTS speaking test question that's been on a recent test. Prepare well and tell a great story. In your first question, you asked about my hometown, and I told you I'm from a very small fishing village on the coast of Maine in America. And you asked about why people would visit there. They like the view from the wharf. That's where the boats get tied up. There's lots of rocks, and you can see the sunrise or see it set on the ocean, and people find that to be very beautiful. My hometown is quite small, only 323 people, but there are things to see. I think in most hometowns there are notable museums or places that are of historical significance. In my hometown, some of the houses that people live in have been there for 200 to 250 years, essentially the same house that was built by their great-great-great-grandfather when he came to that town. The families stay in that house for many, many generations. They'll have to change the roof or repair things, put in more modern electricity and that kind of thing over time. But really the structure stays the same. People like to live in the same house that their family built many years ago. In some of those houses there'll be a small plaque that says this house was built in 1850, or in my town is back as far as the 1700s. So it gives a sense of history of the family and of the house, the particular style of house that we have where I'm from. That's the most interesting thing about my little hometown.